What is up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new Dragon Ball Legends video. Today we're going to be going over how you can make amazing teams in Dragon Ball Legends. Now I'm going to try to future-proof this as much as physically possible, but keep in mind some of the things that I say and some of the references that I make are probably going to be outdated if you're watching this far in the future after it was released. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright guys, the first thing that you're going to want to keep in mind when you're making a team, the most important thing is that you want synergy, okay? You don't want to just throw a bunch of powerful units on a team. That might work in the future, but right now it's definitely not going to be the way to go. And if you can get powerful units on your team that also synergize, it's going to be infinitely better than just having a bunch of good stuff on your team. So basically, what I mean by synergies sort of delves into two categories. That's going to be team-based synergies and individual character-based synergies. Now, the first one, team-based synergies, let's just go ahead and talk about that. So just to show you guys an example of synergies based on the team, we're going to be talking about Super Saiyan Goku's Sparking Red range type. And if you scroll down on his details, you're going to see that he has 3 character tags. That's going to be Saiyan, Super Saiyan, and Sun Family. And those are important to notice because they are going to come into play with abilities. If you click on the Z ability specifically of Super Saiyan Goku, you're going to see that it gives a 22% buff to strike attack, and it's only for the character tag Saiyan. So if you have a full Saiyan team, this is going to apply to all of them every single time you go into a match, no matter what. If you use Goku, cool, then you're using Goku. If you don't use him, the Z ability still applies. You're still getting the synergy, and unless it actually says that it has to be in a match, a character has to be in a match for his Z ability or his unique ability to apply, it will still apply no matter what. So that's important to note because that's going to give you a lot of your main synergies. Now, if we back out of here, we're going to go over to Piccolo. So Piccolo is a very, very different example here. As you guys can see, if we go down here, obviously he's only going to have a regeneration character tag, no Saiyan or anything like that. He's still very powerful in his own right, though, which is why he's used on a lot of teams. And his main ability is going to heal everybody. So a lot of times, even on Saiyan teams, Piccolo ends up being used, especially since there's no better defensive alternative to him at the moment. That said, if you go over to his abilities, he's going to have a element-based ability as his Z ability. That's going to boost the strike defense of all green element characters. Now, eventually, mono-color characters are going to be very, very powerful, probably have mono-type teams or even duo-type teams. But at the moment, that's not relevant whatsoever. We're really mainly focusing on the fact that Saiyans can be used as a team, as a character tag, and generally there's really nothing else that can compete on the same level except the counter meta team, which is, again, something we're going to talk about in a little bit in this video. But this is something that you're probably going to want to look into if you're watching this video a few months from now. A lot of sparking characters are out maybe of this sort of ability and have the same type and all that. Maybe there's going to be a relevant monocolor team, but at the moment there is not. Now, there's another thing we need to talk about at the same time, and since we have Piccolo up, we might as well talk about it. We have anti-synergies, okay? And what that means is essentially you're going to be debuffing or otherwise taking advantage of synergies that your opponent's team is going to try to take advantage of. So, for instance, we have Anti-Saiyan Blast Attack Plus here. So we've got plus 20% Blast Attack inflicted again, or plus 20% blast damage rather inflicted against tag Saiyan. So if you're going up against a lot of Saiyan teams, then Piccolo is going to just smack down them very, very easily and overall just do a lot more damage, which is just fantastic because his defenses are already great. His attack is relatively decent, but his defenses are amazing. So if you can get a bonus to his attack, then that's going to be just fantastic and pretty much unbeatable if you're going up against a team that's trying to take advantage of the Saiyan character tag. Essentially, guys, that's what you're looking for when you're just going on team-based synergies. So an anti-synergy that can cover an entire Saiyan team is very powerful, just like a Saiyan character tag-based team that can synergize together is very powerful. And you're looking at all of these Z abilities probably going, well, 15 or 20% isn't that huge of a deal, right? Well, fortunately for you, it is. It's a huge deal. It all stacks up, and it's all going to activate no matter what. If you have the character in PvP or not, its Z ability will still activate unless it says otherwise on the actual character card itself, which is important to note because it's just ridiculous how these stat buffs can actually stack up. You tend to get like a 40% buff to attacks in these Saiyan teams, and that is absolutely ridiculous. So guys, as far as one-on-one synergies are concerned, I just wanted to discuss Tien and Chaozu. I think they are literally the perfect example for one-on-one synergies in Dragon Ball Legends. Let's talk about them. So first and foremost, the Z ability here. Nothing. You're not getting anything with Chaozu because Chaozu is a purple type, at least the one from this example, and Tien is a yellow type and buffing yellow types with the Z ability. So not something you're going to be even concerned about whatsoever. What you're really concerned about here is his unique ability, Avenge Chaozu. That's going to give him a 25% increase to strike damage inflicted when Chaozu is defeated, which is very relevant because it never goes away. This is a buff that sticks around the entire rest of the match after Chaozu goes down. And you're thinking, well, if Chaozu's weak, then that really doesn't matter, does it? Well, fortunately for you, Chaozu actually has his own ability that takes advantage of the fact that he's pretty weak and doesn't do a lot of damage, doesn't have a lot of health. He's going to have his main ability, Farewell Tien, which is the saddest thing ever, but it's really, really solid. Going to give him a self-destruct card, and then he's going to just straight up self-destruct on the opponent. Now, if Tien's on your team, you're going to get a 50% bonus to self-destruct damage inflicted. So overall, you synergize these two characters together. If they're both on the team in the match, then they're going to synergize and get extra damage inflicted, you know, in each way. Now, is Chaozu the best to use? Probably not. We're going to be trying him out at some point. I'm going to get him all maxed out and everything and just see how it goes, but I doubt he's going to be super relevant. That said, he is fun. And obviously, you know, we're also going to check his Z power out, his Z ability, 17% to damage inflicted by allies with self-destruct during battle. So that's going to basically buff himself and possibly other characters that have self-destruct. And I could see in the future a strategy coming out where you're taking advantage of the fact that he's buffing self-destruct damage by running Tien, Chaozu, and maybe one other character that has self-destruct. That way, maybe you knock out two characters that you don't like going up against with Tien, and then you go up against the last character with Tien after he's been buffed by Chaozu going down, and the other two characters are knocked out because of self-destruct. It's just a neat strategy, and that's the type of one-on-one synergy you're going to look towards for making a one-on-one synergy-based team. So guys, you probably now are asking, well, Chiken, those are two separate strategies. You can't do them both at the same time, most of the time anyways. What should I be going for? And I would have to recommend that you go for just your Z ability-based synergies right off the bat. You know, team-based synergies are so good, and it gives you options in PvP. For instance, okay, if you were going to go into a PvP match with a full team based on one-on-one synergies, so that means that, you know, you're going to have a core of, you know, 2, 2, and 2 that are going to be building up your team, and you're going to be losing one core no matter what, because you can only bring 3 characters into a PvP match. So maybe you're going to bring in one core and then have the rest of the team, the other 4 characters, be synergizing based on the team, or maybe even buffing the main core and focused on buffing the main core as a whole. That's an option. You know, maybe you use a character like Piccolo that's going to be able to heal up Chaozu or heal up Tien, and then give them extra defense power, and then the rest of the team is just benefiting their stats in some way based off of either element buffs or otherwise. You know, there are a lot of different options for ways that you can build a team, but that said, the most likely best scenario is going to be getting a full character tag based team that buffs everyone on the team with their Z ability. Now, it's important to note that this is a gacha game, so over time power creep will sort of creep into the game, and you do need to be able to run basic calculations to see if the buffs are going to be worth running a different character that's a little bit weaker overall than someone that you just pulled, or if you should just switch them in and take the hit on, you know, whatever else they're buffing. Basically, just a good example here is if you were going to be using a hero like Shallot on a Saiyan team, and he's going to be giving a buff to Saiyan max base health by 10% during battle. That's pretty awesome. It's definitely pretty fantastic. He also heals himself and gives extra damage to himself as his main ability, and he gives 10% strike damage inflicted for each down battle member, so over time he can be pretty fantastic. That said, you know, would you actually take and put him in place of Piccolo, for example, on a Saiyan team? Because Piccolo is not going to synergize or buff any Saiyans. You're going to lose 10% of your health on your Saiyan team by taking Shallot out and putting Piccolo in. But in every situation almost, I can't think of a single one where you wouldn't. You'd put Piccolo in over Shallot because Piccolo gives more value based on his main ability, Demon Willpower, which is going to cure abnormal conditions, which will eventually be more relevant than they are right now. and restore ally health by 25%, which is incredible. So valuable at the top level. When you have, 300, 400,000 HP or more, it's going to be ridiculous to heal 25% of that. It's a lot. So you just have to be able to sort of look at the stats and make up your mind on whether or not switching something in that maybe isn't going to synergize perfectly is still a better decision. And that's going to happen probably pretty frequently as time goes on, especially because, I'd imagine down the line, when this Saiyan team continues to dominate, that they're going to start increasing the flow of other characters coming into the game. We know Final Form Frieza and Ginyu are going to be dropping sometime soon. So the Saiyan team will not be the top dog forever, most likely. It could even be a Super Saiyan team or something like that that becomes the top dog at that point. And you're going to have to make the decision as you start to fill out your other teams that are going to be top dogs at that point on whether or not you're going to be switching things out before you finish the actual entire team, and making it so, you're not using like a full team that's going to be optimal, but maybe is still better. And guys, that is going to be about it for this video. As time goes on, I'm definitely going to make new iterations of this team building guide because I think there's going to be mono-type and duo-type teams that come out in the future. And obviously, other synergies will come out as well. But at the moment, the Saiyan synergy is the top dog. It's the biggest and baddest team that you can have in PvP at the moment. And the other synergies, whether that be monocolor or one-on-one synergies for characters, are just completely irrelevant apart from some sort of niche strategies. So we'll talk about this again in the future. I'm going to make a video on this whenever I feel like the general consensus is that the recommendation for team building has changed. But at the moment, this is how it needs to be. This is how you should probably go about doing things. Make some sort of team that takes advantage of character tags. And if you have any ideas for future videos you'd like to see, let me know down in the comment section below. As always, guys, hope you have a fantastic day. Let's actually do our YOLO summons real quick today because I have not done them yet. And we'll just see what we get, guys. Just a last-second thing. Let's see what we pull. Probably not going to be anything good. We never really get anything good. I've had really bad luck the past few days, but I just feel like summoning a couple characters right now. I really want Broly, man, but I don't know if we're going to get him. First one going to be... at least overpower him. It's going to blow up in the middle. So we basically got a hero guaranteed, right? Yeah, it's going to be a hero Chaozu. Not exactly excited about that one. So we're going to go right back over to summons, and we're going to go on the Legends Rising banner for our daily YOLO there. Come on, give me something good. We got one pod. That's not too promising. I think that can give me an extreme. I think that's pretty much it, right? Unless we get more. Okay. Silver letters, not gold or anything like that. Do we overpower Frieza at least? No, we're getting overpowered? No! Oh, that's unfortunate. That's going to be another hero right there. Hero Nappa. But yeah, guys, that's going to be about it for this one. And until the next video, peace.